My dear friends, have you been seeing 1111 everywhere? On your phone, on receipts, on digital clocks, on random timestamps. And each time, it feels intentional, not accidental, not random, almost as if reality itself paused for a second and looked back at you. What if 1111 is not coincidence? What if it is not superstition? What if it is a doorway? Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you may never look at 1111 the same way again. But before we go deeper, if you are someone who feels spiritually guided, who senses there is more happening beneath the surface of life, subscribe to Divya Antar. This channel is for seekers, awakeners, and those who quietly feel called to something higher. Comment below, I am aligned. And if you've been seeing 1111 repeatedly, type 1111 in the comments. Let's see how many souls are experiencing this synchronicity. Now, let us enter the mystery. There are moments in life when the visible world cracks slightly, and something subtle shines through. Repeating numbers are often one of those cracks. To understand 1111 spiritually, we must first understand something deeper. Consciousness communicates. Reality is not mute. The universe is not mechanical. It is responsive. Mystics across time have suggested that existence is intelligent, not merely material. In the teachings associated with sages like, the external world is a projection of deeper spiritual laws. What appears outside mirrors inner vibration. When a pattern repeats, it is not always about the number. It is about attention. 1111 is powerful because it interrupts you. You look at the clock randomly, and there it is. For identical digits. Symmetry. Alignment. Balance. A visual awakening. It feels like a tap on the shoulder of your awareness. Let us explore the symbolism. The number 1 represents unity. It represents source. It represents the beginning. It represents pure consciousness before division. When you see 1 repeated 4 times, it magnifies that essence. 1111 can symbolically represent alignment with your higher self, awakening to spiritual awareness, a portal of heightened consciousness, a reminder that you are not separate from the source. But here is something deeper. Why do you notice it now? You have looked at clocks thousands of times in your life. Why does 1111 suddenly feel charged? Because perception changes when consciousness shifts. You begin noticing patterns when you are becoming more aware. Synchronicity increases when you are spiritually sensitive. Seeing 1111 often begins during periods of transformation, emotional upheaval, spiritual curiosity, identity shifts, life crossroads. It is rarely random. It often appears when you are questioning your direction, when you are wondering, am I on the right path? And 1111 appears like a silent whisper. Yes, keep going. Another layer. 1111 is visually symmetrical. 2 pillars. Mirrored. In ancient symbolism, pillars represent gateways, crossing from one level of awareness to another. When you see 1111, it can symbolize standing at a threshold. You are not who you used to be, but you are not fully who you are becoming. It is the in-between state, and that state is sacred, because transformation happens in thresholds. There is also psychological depth here. The subconscious mind is incredibly powerful. When you are internally focused on growth, meaning, and higher awareness, your perception becomes tuned to symbols of alignment. 1111 acts as a confirmation bias, but not in a negative sense. It is the psyche highlighting moments of synchronicity. And synchronicity is not superstition. It is the meaningful coincidence described by depth psychology. It is when inner state and outer event resonate. The mind says, that's interesting. The soul says, pay attention. But here is something even more profound. Seeing 1111 can be a call to presence. Think about what happens in that moment. You look at the time. You notice the repetition. And, for a split second, you are fully aware, fully here, fully conscious. No past, no future, just the now. That microsecond of heightened awareness is meditation. 1111 pulls you into presence. And presence is where spiritual realization begins. Many people make wishes at 1111. But what if instead of wishing you aligned? Instead of asking for something external, you asked, Am I aligned internally? Because manifestation without alignment creates chaos, but alignment without force creates flow. When 1111 appears, try this. Pause. Close your eyes. Take one conscious breath. Ask internally, what am I being guided toward? You may not hear a voice, but you may feel clarity, or calm, or confirmation. That subtle sensation is guidance. There is also the energetic explanation. Numbers carry vibration. Repetition amplifies vibration. When your inner frequency shifts, through meditation, introspection, healing, you begin resonating with certain patterns. 1111 becomes a vibrational match. It reflects coherence. It reflects synchronization between thought, emotion, and intention. It often appears when you are thinking about a major decision, reflecting on your purpose, remembering your spiritual path, releasing something old. It is less about prediction, more about alignment. Let us address something important. Not every 1111 is mystical. Not every repetition is divine. Obsession over signs can become distraction. Spiritual maturity means balance. The purpose of signs is to awaken awareness, not replace responsibility. If 1111 appears but you ignore your intuition, if it appears but you avoid growth, if it appears but you refuse necessary change, then it becomes decoration instead of direction. The number is not magic. Your consciousness is. Here is a deeper teaching. The outer world reflects inner order. When you begin noticing order in small things like numbers, it may be because you are beginning to seek order within. Your life may feel chaotic, uncertain, unstable, but 1111 appears symmetrical, stable, aligned. It becomes a visual reminder. Alignment exists. Balance exists. Unity exists. Even if you cannot yet see it in your life, it is possible, and you are moving toward it. Some people start seeing 1111 during awakening. Others see it during heartbreak. Others during career shifts. Others during spiritual loneliness. Why? Because these are identity-breaking moments. And when identity cracks, awareness expands. 1111 may signal, you are waking up. Not in a dramatic sense, but in a subtle recalibration. You are becoming more conscious, more intentional, more aware of patterns, more sensitive to meaning. There is also something beautifully simple. 11. 11 might just be a loving reminder. You are supported, even when you feel alone, even when clarity is absent, even when the path is foggy. Synchronicity is reassurance. It is life saying, you're seen. The next time you see 1111, do not rush. Do not scroll past it. Let it become ritual. A sacred pause. A breath. A moment of internal alignment. Instead of asking, what does this mean? Ask, how aligned am I right now? That question alone can change your trajectory. Remember this. The universe does not shout. It whispers. And repeating numbers are whispers. They do not force. They invite. They do not control. They guide. And if you are noticing 1111 frequently, you are likely becoming more aware, more conscious, more awake. That is not coincidence. That is evolution. If this message resonated with you, if you have been seeing 1111 repeatedly, comment, I trust the alignment. Share this with someone who keeps noticing synchronicities but doesn't understand them yet. And subscribe to Divya Antar for deeper explorations into awakening, consciousness, and spiritual symbolism. Because the signs are everywhere. The question is, are you ready to see them?